me, Nicholas, and our guest, Dalek. Welcome to the show, Dalek.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. I really like your art. It's spunky, it is weird, it is... I haven't seen anything quite like on Twitter. Yeah, so let's dive into your art a little bit. How did you come to make these kind of weird images?
Well, sometimes it's just something in your head. Look, I always drew characters, doodled characters. That was always my thing. Um, when I got into graffiti in the early 90s, I just felt like doing characters was something for me that was more interesting than try to do letter styles. So I started trying to kind of develop an iconic character. Um, if you look at graffiti and you look at piecing versus throw ups and tags, they're all iconic, but what always stuck with me is the throw up and this super easy, flat, almost logo-esque type of a feel it has. So I was drawn to trying to create a character that could replicate some of that same energy and feeling. And, as I slowly started fine tuning, some character ideas, the Spacemonky kind of hit. And, I've just kind of been developing it over the last 25 years at this point.
Yeah, because it kind of reminded me at first of a mouse. It reminded me of Itchy and Scratchy. I've been using it and then I thought, oh, but wait, it's a monkey.
Right. Well, no, it's not. So first of all, of course, Itchy and Scratchy takes from all the cartoon greats. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s and, grew up on Tom and Jerry and Woody Woodpecker and Bugs Bunny and all the same stuff, most people did from that era. So the Simpsons, when they did Itchy and Scratchy, of course, it's a great, homage to really to Tom and Jerry, right? I mean,
Yes.
the whole cat and mouse thing. And then the principle in general, socially of cat and mouse, right? It's so the Space Monkey, from an early age, I had a healthy fascination with technology, and but I also understand that technology is one of these two-sided things, man, and it'll elevate, it'll evolve and devolve at the same time, right? So we all know they sent monkeys into space in the 60s and maybe before, I don't know. But this whole concept of training an animal to push buttons, right? This Pavlovian response of if I give you A, you'll do B. And, my whole concept is that humanity is doomed to become button pushing morons as time goes on, because technology and the ease it creates will make things so easy, you'll just be programmed to respond that way, right? And again, like anything, technology and with intelligent thinking and intelligent people is a tool, right? And in the hands of people that aren't intelligent, man, it really starts to make their world, less and less. And technology's created the rebirth of the mob mentality. And it's just that's where Space Monkey comes into it, right? So yes, you could say the character is paying respects to, old Disney and Mickey Mouse and all that old cartoon stuff. But it was meant to be a vehicle of questioning social order and the machine that we're all kind of brought up into.
Yeah, because it also has some machine-like characteristics. It's very edgy, quite literally. And I love your philosophy. I totally also agree with what you're saying. I think it is almost like a reversal of 2001 Space Odyssey, where it starts with the monkey, we end with the monkey.
Right.
Let's show some of your amazing art in the show.
Yeah, sure.
Right here. So I love this stuff. These are actually flying monkeys. I see.
Yeah. Well, Wizard of Oz, right? The flying monkeys. Remember those?
Yeah. Yeah, they're also in The Simpsons. Fly, my monkeys, fly.
Yeah, they stole that from the Wizard of Oz, right?
True,
That's
true.
the beauty of pop culture is it's just borrowing and reborrowing and reappropriating and repurposing, and I think that's why it resonates, right? It's just a reinvestment into the culture and bringing things that were old into the new, and those continuations, right?
Yeah. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I'm getting your pictures in the show to
Uh,
give people a little bit of an idea about yeah, what kind of amazing stuff you're making. It's also very colorful. It's
mhm.
a very yeah, striking. I mean, that's really catches your attention. I really thought it was kind of iconic in the way you created these color fields. They're quite
Oh,
unusual.
well, thank you, man. I've been teaching myself color theory for years. And again, one thing that's interesting about cartoons always was, and again, they took all the fun out of cartoons, man. I get it,
Yes,
but
yes,
same
yes.
time, you know, all the old slapstick, the ultra violence. Man, it's interesting when you paint social commentary in the light of this kind of cartoon absurdity, right? So part of that is for me color. I want a lot of color. I want these hyper bright colors. Um, and I think it's an interesting contrast, right? It's like dressing up the pig, so to speak. And I think that the social commentary is always meant to be underlined, and I think that's important because I think it's important that everybody engage with anything in a personal manner, right? The way that it feels comfortable for them, not in a way that I'm not going to tell you how I feel. I'm trying to relate kind of global concepts of being human and dealing with systems. Um, and of course, it's always open to anybody's personal interpretation in their own lives. So
Yeah,
um, it's important not to preach, but to have dialogues and to try to create commonalities and share experiences. So I
yeah.
want to step up and do the work.
Which brings us to crypto and NFTs. Because how exactly did you get involved with this whole this whole field, this whole space?
With NFTs or crypto or both.
Yeah, both, both.
Yeah, I mean, crypto came first for me. Um, Obviously, I had heard about crypto for years. Um, and just like anything, we've had these discussions where, technology has allowed all this stuff to get easier, right? So whether it's online shopping or, running an online store, investing in stocks, options, cryptos, whatever. Um, so I've known about this stuff and I've researched it for years. And as the platforms have now evolved to make it easy to do, um, I just started investing in it. I did all my research and, listen to all my YouTube people and slowly built up a portfolio. And for the same reason I think a lot of people have is, these concepts of decentralization, of, more peer-to-peer networks and taking power out of hands of a small handful of people, I think has, the potential to be this great, kind of meshing network of bringing more people together globally, right? So one of the things I find interesting, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or even the NFT space, is it's global, right? It's people from all over the world. Um, and if you start to get away from the barriers of nationalism and governments and all this shit they've put in place, and the banks they have to keep you hostage,
Yeah,
and credit systems, and man, everybody's just trying to make their way, and everyone has the right to make their way. And I think it's important. And so I think that's what this world starts to bring is the ability for people to connect beyond all the old fucking antiquated, systems that need to die but won't die because they don't want to give up their power.
yeah, yeah. That's also the message we try to get across. We think blockchain and crypto, and also the NFT space for artists, is a way to set yourself free, and also to bring perhaps a better future to society in a decentralized way.
Yeah, I believe so, man. I think that I track. and moved a lot from the time I was super young. And one of the things I think that for me was positive about that is when you start traveling other parts of the world and meeting people and you understand there's cultural differences, but there's way more cultural similarities among all people, right?
Yeah.
And you find that, right, when I'm young and people say, oh well, this country's like this or these people are like that, and you meet them and you're like, well, they're all lies, right? I mean, there's cool people and there's not cool people, and it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah.
That is one of the benefits of technology and all these decentralized things is it allows people to connect more directly. um, it allows people to empower themselves and try to break free again of these systems that have all but, doesn't matter where you are, they've been put in place everywhere to keep us on the teat and not let us break free. um, so I do think it's an important message to spread, and I think unity, among people is an important thing because we need it, right? We shouldn't be getting onto each other. We should be, getting rid of these systems that are holding us back and keeping us from taking care of our families and paying our bills, not being happy.
And what excites you the most in this space? Or yeah, what really excites you?
I mean, I think what excites me is that it's young and it's taking hold, right? It has so much real potential for real change, right? And we all know is, again, man, I was born in '68. I didn't live through the '60s, but the '80s were similar, and it's generationally people have wanted to create change, and even with things when you have, all the protests and the riots in the street and all that, like, it's measured change, and it's again within a system, right? So these are ways to create true systematic change, right? To start breaking apart systems, um, and start to liberate yourself in a different manner. Uh,
Yeah.
and again, to start seeing behind the curtain, because I think that again, most people's viewpoints are still structured by. I mean, look, even YouTube has its algorithms, right? Twitter has its
Yes.
algorithms. There's still a lot of control being exercised to make sure things stay within certain parameters. And again, pros and cons, however you want it. But I do think as things become decentralized, of course, there's issues. Of course, there's potential problems and dangers, and but no more so than exists now. And so that's what I get excited about. I think, especially because I have young kids.
Yeah.
They'll grow up with this. This will become part of their world. Um, and hopefully the world can move to a place where they can break free of a lot of that stuff.
And where do you think society is moving when you look at yeah, the broader picture?
Well, I mean, I think it's growing divided, right? It's very divisive. Um,
Yeah.
I think that social media and a lot of this has created hardcore divisiveness, right? Pick this
Yeah.
side or that. Again, I think it's a game they're playing just to those ends, right? Keep everybody pissed off at each other, and they won't pay attention to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, Look, man, it's hard. People are afraid because they buy into what they hear, and they think this group is out to do this or that group's out to do that, or this is going to disable this form or that's going to screw up that. And it's just not the case. I mean,
Yeah.
every
People have to look beyond the propaganda, and then they see there's like a totally different world out there.
right, but it's also hard, right? Because when you live in a world of information, misinformation, and people are pumping up that storyline, like, don't go here, listen to us. Everyone else is unreliable, or, be careful of this or be wary of that. You know, Again, people have to make personal choices, but I think that's where having dialogue with individuals across multiple platforms and understand, yeah, man, don't get, just kind of do your thing, take care of your, if crypto and NFTs and these kinds of things can help you create a better life, I think that's what you have to stay focused on, man, is take care of your family and your friends and the people around you. And if everybody adopts that mentality, eventually it'll all bleed into each other, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. We have a similar mindset, and I also wonder if you, when you look at your Space Monkey images, do you have
Mm-hmm.
like an idea where you want to take it? Do you really do you want to make it into a cartoon, or do you have a certain vision that you're building towards?
No, I mean, my whole philosophy in life is, one day at a time. I really try to stay focused on learning what's right in front of me, right? So every time I make a drawing or a painting, I just try to build off of what I did in the last one, right? And if something has popped into my field of vision or into my head, then it'll inadvertently work itself into the work. But I don't like to plan. I don't like to go, hey, my work's going to be here, or I want my work to be this. I just trust that whatever happens to me on the journey I'm taking will bleed into the work naturally and feed it. And the work will evolve, in a manner similar to how I'm evolving, right? So um, there's just nothing. I don't pre-plan. I don't pre-draw. I don't plan out ahead. I don't have a 2-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. Um, you know, Cartoons, who knows? It could work in the right context, but it's not anything I'm working towards. The animations are just a great way to start bringing some of the personality of the character to life, um, and kind of get, the absurdity matched with the maliciousness, all under, it's just easier to translate, I think, through animation,
Yeah,
which then in turn bring a little more sense to the still images. But it's totally, everything's just an evolution. I just got into the NFT space maybe 9 weeks ago.
wow,
Um, but I took my time. I didn't rush in. I talked to friends. I really watched it. Um, Certainly didn't want to just jump in and try to grab money. It's certainly not anything, on my priority list anyways. Um, but I found the right match, right? I found the
yeah,
right platform that fits my personality, my way of doing things. It has a good community, and it's been strong. And then, of course, the whole platform's gone down this week. But you see the people are like, hey, man, we're going to stay here and we're going to get through this. And
yeah,
going
yeah.
to move.
They're very supportive of each other, and I think, yeah,
Yeah, man, I think, look, again, and you can, some people, because in Twitter, people be, oh, it's superficial, or people only pop their head up here, or this or that, or it only takes care of these people, not these people. And,
yeah,
there's no room to, you just stop bitching and participate, right? It's nothing's going to be seamless. Nothing's going to be egalitarian. It's just not the way it works. Life is a meritocracy, in my opinion. you know, if your work is good or your personality is good or anything, people are going to be drawn to you. And if it's not, it's not. It's just, and no one's beholden to just hold your hand through everything. That's the type of behavior we have to move away from, man. You have to earn your way in life. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's a great platform and I think it's very supportive. And I think it does encourage people, and so do I, to keep working. I mean, I've spent 25 years doing this, and I still have struggles, man. Nothing's a given on any day of any week. So people who start popping into spaces for 3 to 5 months and then get pissy when things don't work out, like if you're going to give up that easy, you're just being a brat.
yeah.
And the world doesn't need brats, man. It doesn't need people whining and crying and complaining. It needs people having dialogue and discussion and meeting in the middle and working towards things. So um, that's
Well,
what I'd say about that.
I think your work is already iconic, and I really love it, and I'm gonna retweet it and follow it. And I only think you need an opponent. Like, I mean, he's like a character, and he needs something to to fight against. Maybe like a haywire machine or something. I
But
can see that.
He's always fighting against himself, man. That's the eternal battle for humanity. Our biggest fight is with ourselves.
Yes, yes.
Battling your own insecurities and fears and issues. That to me, that and Space Monkey's biggest enemy will always be himself.
Well, that's probably the worst enemy you can get, right?
Yeah, man, it's a hard fought battle between them.
Equally matched. Yeah. Hey, and about your platform, you chose for Hike Nung.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell us a little bit about your choice for that particular platform?
Yeah, so good buddy of mine who is I don't know what his Twitter handle is. I always forget. But anyways, Lurk is his name, Lurk. He was like, "Look, man, I know you're struggling with this. I know you don't know where to enter. Um, I was worried about clickiness and all this kind of shit." And he's like, "Look, I got the best." He goes, "It's super easy." He goes, "I'll help you get set up. It's called Heket Nuke. Tezos is a super green, no gas fees. Um, the easy use was just spot on, right?" And
Yeah,
I got in pretty early. And right out of the gate, I noticed there was a good, strong community, a lot of support for each other. And I kept saying to myself, look, man, if this doesn't go anywhere, because people think, oh, it's not Ethereum, it's Tezos, and
yeah,
big platforms are on Ethereum, and that's where you need to be. And um, I find them complicated and convoluted, and it doesn't mean I won't ever venture there, but the Tezos thing and Hicket Nuke have been so easy to use.
yeah,
And it's 1990s internet dial up right now, but that's kind of fun too. Because I
yeah.
know a lot of people might not remember 1990s dial up, but I do.
I
Um,
do too.
and it wasn't fun, but it's cool to look.
Looking back, it's fun.
Yeah, look back and go. It took me 45 minutes to send a 1 megabyte file. And if
Yeah,
someone called me while I was sending it, I had to send it again. And look how far it's come. So it's the same principle. Like, I think it'll grow. I, I, I honestly can tell you, I think it has the strongest community of any of the NFT platforms. It has amazing art and artists. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many great people are on there. And even though the system's been down this week because of a hacker, um, the hacker didn't really do any damage. I think he was just trying to point out a flaw in the system. And feel free to correct me, but that's my gut
yeah,
feeling. But look, man, they're fixing it, so it's cool. I'll sit back and I'll wait. And some people have found ways to adapt and use object bid, and um, I'm not pressed. I'm not in a rush. I got plenty of other work to do, but great platform,
yeah,
super. No applications, no nonsense. Just get a Tezos wallet, set up an account. Takes
yeah,
no time. Start buying stuff. And the other thing I'll say about it is all the artwork under there is massively undervalued because no one's there trying to press and make a grip of cash. Everybody's trying to share great work.
yeah,
I think in the future, when it does take off, there'll be a lot of people sorry they missed the boat on that one. But I've only seen it grow in strength over the last 9-10 weeks. It shows no signs of weakening in any aspect. Um, and it's fun. It's a lot of great art, great community. Highly recommend it. And of
yeah.
course, I'm
Yeah,
on.
we noticed that too. It really exploded onto the scene, Tezos, and it's very user friendly, and it has some amazing artists like you. And yeah, these last few weeks, we had a lot of artists who are now switching over to Tezos,
Yeah,
or who now started on Tezos. That's also, of course, possible. And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The transaction fees are nothing. I mean, it
yeah,
costs nothing to mint. I think it's like fractions of a penny when you transfer objects or you transfer Tezos in and out of wallets off you know, nothing, pennies.
yeah,
Um, and then I go and I try to do something on an Ethereum based network and they want to charge me 50, 100, $200 just to just to do some. I remember somebody posted something. It was a free NFT on OpenSea, and I was like, oh, "That's cool. I'm gonna go get it." And I went to get it, and the gas fees were like $70.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, well, I can't. It's a $70 NFT. It's not a free one. So I think that's problematic, man. And I know they're working on fixing it, and I know they're going to get it down. Um, but I think Tezos is a great blockchain. I think it's a perfectly good currency to work in. It's shown as much resiliency in this last couple months of cryptos getting beat to hell. Tezos has held up well and it's recovered well, and I think it has a lot of upside, and I think Hicket Nuke does as well. So
Yeah, yeah, ecstasy, the ticker. It's a great current crypto. I hold a bag of it, and yeah, I think it's also very useful for NFT space, as I can see. And yeah, I personally, yeah, I want to ask you: do you have like a message for the people at home? Something you want to give them, like a personal message for the people watching?
well, we've done that, right? Like I would just say the big thing is stay focused on being the best you. That's what I tell my kids every day. Don't worry about anybody else. Just be the best version of you can be, man, and chip away at shit one day at a time. I think that's the best way to eat an elephant, as they say. Um, and just keep moving forward, man. Don't give up on anything. I see a lot of people get bummed out. Just do what you can. Control what you can control, and
Yeah,
hopefully things keep rolling.
and keep stacking sets.
Yeah, man.
Right? Keep stacking sets. So yeah, I really enjoyed this interview, and I think yeah, your art is really mind blowing, and I can't wait to see where you're gonna take it.
Appreciate you having me on.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I think you spoke a lot of words of wisdom. Yeah, there's nothing much I can say, but that I totally agree with everything you say. And people should follow you. I'll always put all the things in the description box, your links, so people can check it out. And I think you're right. I think people are sleeping on Tezos, and also on the art, the amazing art that's created on Tezos. So yeah, they better wake up fast because the new run is coming. And yeah,
Yeah, well, look, Hicket Nuke 2.0 is coming, and they'll get this sorted. And also, if we're going to do this giveaway, you got to have a Tezos wallet to get it. So you
yes,
better get on it. Get
yeah,
it
we're
done.
spreading adoption. We're forcing them to get their Tezos wallets by spreading great art.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah. Well, I'll do it just in the show while you're here. For the people watching, if you want an amazing NFT by Dalek, then you have to create your own Tesla's wallet if you don't have one already, and then you have to make a tweet. So you go out on Twitter. You have to tag me, Crypto and D1. You have to tag Dalek. That's Dalek Spacemonky. I also put the Twitter handle down here in the description box. And you have to tag my brother, who isn't here. He'll be here soon, but he's still out of the field. It's at J Dalmolder. Well, for the people watching, most of them know how it works. So you make a tweet, you tell us what you liked about the interview, what you like about the art, what you like about Dalek, and his words of wisdom. Make a good tweet, tag us, and maybe you win an amazing NFT in 24 hours.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so let's go out and do it. And you, by the way, are always welcome to come back on the show because, yeah, like I said, I can't wait to see what else you're gonna make with this amazing character. It's already iconic, I think.
Yeah, well, my finger got in there. Yeah, I've been doing it for probably 27 years now.
Wow.
So it's it'll stick around for another 20.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, I want to thank you really from the bottom of my heart for being on the show. I really loved it, and yeah, I'm a big cartoon fan. I know all the greats: Tom and Jerry, Itchy and Scratchy, Ren and Stimpy. So I'm happy to add Spacemonky to that list. I think it will get there, or maybe it already is.
Yeah, maybe one day. We'll see. But thank you again.
Take care, man.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye.
So people, that was an amazing interview. I really enjoyed it. He's already one of my heroes. Like I said, give him a follow, Dalek Spacemonky. Make that tweet so you can win one of those amazing NFTs he's got. And also, next week, we got Kevin from Celsius back on the show. We got a really big guest coming very soon. I can't reveal yet who that is. And this weekend, we got Paul McNeil and Purple Suede on Sunday. So that's a big lineup. More people are coming. Keep watching. Do the tweet. And like I always say, two things. Watch, learn, and earn. And makes you want